Jackson and who?
Reg.
Reg.
ISD board member.
Former commissioner. He's former commissioner, and he was also on the EDC board.
Yes, sir. Currently on the ballot.
He's on the paddock. And Reg is the. All right. Who do we have? Okay. All right. Where's Charles?
He's just sitting out there. He's deferring. That's good.
He's gonna be down there. He's not one to come up here one last time. What is that? All right. At this time, the mayor will call to order the regular city council meeting for 7 p.m. Tuesday, May the 18th, 2021. City Council Chambers, 201 East Nash Street, Terrell, Texas. We currently have in the chambers District 2, Grady Simpson. We have District 3, Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, District 4, Charles Whitaker, and District 5, Tim Royce. At this time, Councilman Whitaker, would you please do invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the rain. Thank you for the people that have come here to be with Stephanie. Thank you for this council that worked so hard for this city and continue to lead and guide them as they do what's best for all concerned. This we pray in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. All right. All right, as we move on to election business, before we get started, I do want to mention some individuals that I see out in the chambers. Judge Williams, former Judge Williams is here. We have TSD Reg Pegram. He's here with us tonight. We have former Commissioner J.C. Jackson. He also was a former EDC board member and is currently serving on our paddock board. So, J.C., thank you for being here. In addition to that, there's so many that are here tonight. I don't know if they're here for Charles or if they're here for a new council member, but we'll figure that out afterwards. But no, we want to say thank you to Carolyn Spencer, who Mr. Spencer was a colleague of mine. He served on the council while I was there on my first and second term, and the Spencer family for being here tonight. Also, many friends and family of our new councilwoman, Stephanie Holmes-Thomas. In addition to that, she has some school teachers, I understand, that are in the audience that she wanted to recognize. Miss Brown is here, right? And I know her son very well. Bourbon and I were in school together and graduated together, so welcome, Miss Brown. We also have Ruby Shaw, who's here tonight, right? So there's so many. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but if I did, maybe the new councilwoman can let us know who that is. So our next item on the agenda is discuss and consider resolution number 1031, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell canvassing the election returns and declaring the results of an election held on May 1st of 2021 in Terrell, Texas. for the purpose of electing council members for District Number 2 and District Number 4 of the City of Terrell, Texas. Such council members to serve a term of 3 years. Don?
Mayor and council, Resolution 1031 canvasses the election returns, the election that was held by Kaufman County, and declares the results of an election held on May 1st, 2021 in Terrell, Texas, to elect council members for District Number 2 and District Number 4 to serve a 3-year term. There were 41 votes cast for council member District Number 2 and 41 ballots for Council District Number 4, for a total of 129 ballots. Grady Simpson is hereby declared to be duly elected to the office of Council District Number 2 for the City of Terrell, Texas, to serve a term of 3 years. And Stephanie Holmes-Thomas is hereby declared to be duly elected to the office of Council District Number 4 for the City of Terrell, Texas, to serve a 3-year term. The proper officials are hereby authorized to administer the oath of office and do all things necessary to install said elected officials in their respective office.
All right. Thank you, Don. At this time, the mayor will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 1031. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 1031 as presented.
We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 3. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Before we get ready to administer the oath of office, I do have a plaque that the newly elected council member would like to present to the outgoing council member. So, Stephanie, would you come forward, please?
I want to show you something, though. After 9 years, you saw how many people I had. Now you do, see how many people you have. In 9 years. Even they don't show up after 9 years.
This plaque reads, Charles Whitaker, in recognition for many years of outstanding service to the city of Terre. Your dedication and service to this community will not be forgotten. Your shining spirit will never be matched. May 18, 2020, Stephanie Holmes-Thomas, City of Terre, District 4, Council Member.
New council member.
And for the record, Stephanie, Charles didn't give the mayor anything when I got elected. As we move forward with the agenda, Charles, thank you so much for your service to the city. You know, we were all able to speak last week, and everybody shared sentiments about Charles, and you're going to be missed. But I know we have some boards that are open, and hopefully you can serve on one or two or all of them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyhow,
They have to pay.
right. So at this time, we'll administer the oath of office. We'll go with Grady Simpson, District 2 council member first.
I believe Judge Williams, Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
is going to come forward and do that. If we could.
Judge Williams, would you come forward, please?
I got orders from a young lady
Grady, if you would, raise your right hand when you do the, yeah.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, we're ready to go forward.
All right.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, state your name. I, Grady Simpson. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of council member for District 2 of the city of Terre, state of Texas. I, Grady Simpson.
What he said, that's what I
I was looking at this kind of long with the thing. Okay, well, repeat, literally cut across the field. And will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, laws of the United States. To the best of my ability protect, preserve, Constitution, laws of the United States. And I further solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid. I do solemnly swear that I have not directly or indirectly paid. Offered or promised to pay. Offered or promised to pay. Contributed nor promised to contribute. Contribute nor promised to contribute. Any money or value thing. Any money or value thing. Or promise any public office or employment as a reward for the giving or withholding the vote. That you have not paid anything from anybody for withholding the vote. I have not paid anything to anybody from withholding the vote. As a reward for the giving or withholding a vote. As a reward for giving or withholding a vote. At the election of which I was elected. At the election for which I was elected. Or if the office is one of appointment. Or if the office is one of appointment. To secure my appointment. To secure my appointment. So help me God. So help me God.
Thank you, Judge Williams. Thank you, council member. Yep, good. This time, if we could have Stephanie Holmes-Thomas, District 4, newly elected, come forward, please, for the administration of the oath of office. And again, if you would like to put your hand on your left hand on the Bible and then your right hand up, it'll be fine.
That was a little rough. I'm gonna do it like
You've done so many, Judge, I know you can handle it.
okay.
Raise your right hand.
I, Stephanie Holmes-Thomas. Do solemnly swear and affirm.
Solemnly swear and affirm.
Will faithfully execute the duties of the office of council.
Faithfully execute the duties of council member,
District 4 of the city of Terre.
District 4 of the city of Terre,
The state of Texas.
in the state of Texas.
And to the best of my
To the
ability.
best of my ability,
Preserve.
preserve,
Protect.
protect,
And defend.
and defend
The
the
Constitution.
Constitution
And laws of the
and the
United
laws of the
States.
United States
And of this state.
and of this state,
And the charter and ordinances of this
and
city.
the charter and ordinances of this city.
And I further solemnly swear.
And I further solemnly swear
That I have not directly.
that I have not directly
Or indirectly.
or indirectly
Paid.
paid,
Offered.
offered,
Promised to pay.
or promised to pay,
Contributed.
contributed,
Nor promised to contribute.
or promised to contribute
Any money.
any money
Or valuable thing.
or valuable thing,
Or promise any public
or
office.
promise any public office
Employment or as a
or
reward.
employment as a reward
For the giving.
for the giving
Or withholding
or
of vote.
withholding the vote
At the election which I was elected.
at the election in which I was elected,
Or if the office is one of appointment.
or if the offices,
Office of one of appointment.
one of appointment,
To secure my appointment.
to secure my appointment,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Allison?
Hey, Mike's gonna do that. So before we move forward with the council member, the council meeting, we're gonna recess for 5 to 10 minutes. Stephanie, if you'd like to take some photos with your family or whomever, we're in recess.
Would you like to take a picture with his granddaughter?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move back into regular session. At this time, we have Mayor and council community recognition and events. I do have, as this is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, I have a proclamation to read, and we have someone here to present it to. My proclamation reads, whereas May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, and whereas fatalities among motorcycle riders and passengers have more than doubled in number since 1997, and whereas motorcyclists accounted for 14% of all traffic fatalities in 2017, and whereas when motorcycles and other vehicles collide, it is usually the non-motorcycle driver who violates the motorcyclist right-of-way, and whereas more than 80% of all reported motorcycle crashes result in injury or death, and whereas the National Safety Council encourages riders and drivers to take responsibility for ensuring the safety of motorcyclists, and whereas the helmets are 37% effective in preventing fatal injuries, and whereas the Texas Motorcycle Safety Coalition was initiated in 2008 with the mission of improving rider safety. Now therefore, I, Rick Carmona, by the virtue vested in me as mayor, and on behalf of the Terrell City Council, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Day in the city of Terrell, and urge all citizens to observe and obey all traffic laws in an effort to improve safety for motorcycle riders in the city of Terrell, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the corporate seal of the city of Terrell, Texas, to be affixed this, the 18th day of May 2021. If the
There was a phone left in Spencer room.
I'll make copies of this for you guys. I just want to say one thing. Please, please, look out for the motorcyclists. Our gentleman here almost head on at 70 miles an hour. My husband, who normally comes here, Mike can attest to this, he's always riding. September 12th, we were going to the 9/11 memorial. The truck in front of me slammed down his brakes, no tail light. Make a left-hand turn, no turning indicator. That morning, my husband said to me, "Honey, do you think I need to wear my helmet?" I will not tell you what all I had to say to him because it wasn't very ladylike. But I know you all get the drift. He wore his helmet. We took the helmet apart about a month ago and found out that had he not had his helmet on, he would have lost the left side of his face. And there are 3 major cracks in that helmet. He went down and slid 150 feet with a 1,200-pound motorcycle, full-dress Harley, on top of him. When he came to a stop, the bike went another 5 feet. It took 5 men to pick that bike up to get it off the road. The man never stopped. Don't worry, I hunted him down. I know where he lives at. I know everything about him. One of these days,
Luckily, my husband is alive today. He's getting his strength back. He had 7 broken ribs, broken scapula, broken shoulder, broken collarbone, shattered knee, and then had both bones in the leg below the knee was broken. And he will tell you he left 20 pounds of his flesh on 80. But watch out for us. And especially if you see a green and gold trike with a bulldog, that's me. Watch out for my bulldog.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is community recognition events. Does anyone else have something?
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd also, for the recognitions, I'd like to recognize Terrell State Hospital. They held and were able to meet this year for their annual celebration. And they serve many of the patients from the regional area and take care of not only their mental health needs, but their overall needs. They employ many of our community members and those that surround us. And they only had 1 COVID case during the entire pandemic through now. And they were also the very first to lead in distributing COVID-19 vaccines in our community to their employees, patients, and those employees' community members. So I'd like to recognize Terrell State Hospital for all that they do for our community and the greater community. And since we're on the COVID theme here, I'd like to remind our community members that on Saturday, this coming Saturday from 8 to 12, our staff will be at Breezy Hill Park from 8 to 10 to provide COVID-19 vaccines. No appointment is needed. And from 1 to 5, we will be at Stallings Park as well to provide vaccines.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? Mike?
Mayor and Council, I'm going to ask some representatives from the British Flying Training School Museum to just come up real quick. Bill Huntmaker, you've seen him here before.
Former mayor?
Right, former honorary mayor for a day. And so Bill has a very exciting announcement related to the British Flying Training School Museum, and I wanted Bill to just come forward and announce it to the whole council himself.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The British Flying Training School took about 4 months, and we had 14 candidates apply for executive director. Virtually all of them had a master's or a PhD. We were really excited, and out of that came Mr. Patrick Hotard that started last week with us as executive director. He's from Louisiana. He has a master's in history. He also is a big history buff for World War II aircraft, and we are very excited to have him as executive director. So welcome him, if you will, and look forward to good things from him.
Wonderful. Patrick, would you like to say anything to the council, address the council?
Very quickly, I'd like to tell the board how much I appreciate them putting their trust into me and giving me this opportunity. I look forward to working with everyone here in the city, on the council and in city government, and also with everyone in the community and the various civic groups. Really want to build this museum up, really make it an even stronger part of the community, and expand it and do what we can to educate a lot of people and to be a part of tourism and everything else here in the city of Terrell. And I'm looking really forward to it. And I thank you so much for letting me come forward today.
You come from Louisiana?
Originally, yes.
Originally, okay. Where recently?
Well, I live in Irving, Texas.
Okay, okay, cool. Wonderful. Well, welcome to Terrell, Texas, and welcome to the BFTS Executive Board Director. We're looking forward to doing some positive and wonderful things with you.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you all so much, and God bless.
You bet. Thank you, Bill. Our next item on the agenda is to adopt the minutes, discuss and consider approval of the minutes of from the special city council meeting and workshop on April the 27th, 2021, the regular city council meeting on May 4th, 2021, the special city council meeting and workshop on May 4th, 2021, and the special city council meeting and workshop on May the 11th, 2021. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the workshop on May the 4th, the regular city council meeting on May the 4th, the workshop on May the 11th, and the workshop on April 27th.
Thank you, Councilman Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5, made the motion. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Our next item on the agenda is hear public remarks from visitors. Do we have anyone who would like to address the council? We have none. We'll move on to a public hearing. 8.1, would you read that into?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we will have a public hearing regarding comments regarding a zoning change from single-family 7.5, SF 7.5 to planned development single-family 7.5, PD 7.5, to allow a planned residential development to be developed under certain single-family 6 SF6 requirements on 8.972 acres of Terrell Revised Block 632, Lot 1, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. The property is located on the southwest corner of North State Highway 34 and Rose Street. The property is currently zoned single-family 7.5.
And this is going to be handled by Director of Municipal Development, Charles Fenner. Charles.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Mr. Shumpert. This property is actually currently a planned development, 2005. We had approved it, or the P&Z and the council had approved this in 2020. Essentially, what this plan development is doing is really just amending this current plan development that we have in place that had already been approved. And there's just one change as we were working with these gentlemen after the fact. As you know, when we come and entitle property, they get the zoning on that property, and then after they get the zoning, they go off and start doing some engineering and some work. And so when you start looking at some things in design, things come up. I think we handled that with Hunter's Ridge, the state lot subdivision not too long ago, where we did a developer's agreement with them on some lot widths and some things like that. So this is the same case. Essentially, what you're just approving, to approve this amendment, what you're doing is approving two lots that will have a lot width of less than the 60-foot lot width minimum in the current development standards. And so what we'll do in the development standards and the ordinance, the PD ordinance, is actually change that to 55 feet. So we have two lots, these lots that come around over here. They front off these roads coming in, so they're around right here, and they're up right here. It's lot 7 and lot 14. So lot 7 is will still be 6,730 square feet. Lot 14 will still be 7,964 feet. So they'll still exceed the lot area requirements. So all we're needing to do is change the development standard in the PD where it says minimum lot width to 55, because these two lots need to change from 60 foot to 55 foot. And that's the only change.
Why wouldn't we just address those two lots specifically instead of changing the entire?
We could have, but it's just because when we do the plan development, we create that ordinance, and that ordinance has an exhibit. And the second part of that exhibit is the development standards. And you'll see under these development standards, you'll say average lot area is 6,000 square feet. Lot frontage, front width is 60 feet. Lot depth is 100 feet, and so forth. And so the reason we had to change it on the PD, we just changed it on development standards to make it very simple, just for that one line on there. Okay. And could we have done a couple different things in the plan development? We still had to change the actual PD development standards. So
It was just basically an amendment to the existing PD.
Okay.
right, and it was just very simple, but we wanted to do it just so we could carry it through the right process. A lot of times in your plan developments, just for education, a lot of times in these plan developments, if they have a certain percentage of lots that may say they have a minimum requirement of 60 foot, but they have a 5% minimum of lots that may not meet that 60 foot, they may be 57 or what have you, we can just do it in-house. We didn't insert that provision in the plan development, so we just brought it to you to amend it.
All right. Thank you, Fenner. Is there any one here to speak at the public hearing on this matter? No one have any comments? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, and we'll go on to item 8.2, council.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we will consider a zone change from single-family 7.5, SF 7.5, to planned development, single-family 7.5, PD 7.5, to allow a planned residential development to be developed under certain single-family 6 SF 6 requirements on 8.972 acres of Terrell Revised Block 632, Lot 1, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. The property is located on the southwest corner of North State Highway 34 and Rose Street. The property is currently zoned single-family SF 7.5. Basically, we are revision to a addition plan development PD 20-05. This will now be PD 21-02.
All right. Thank you, legal, and thank you, Mr. Fenner. Does anybody have any questions on this item? If not, the mayor will entertain a motion on item 8.2.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve a zoning change as described in item 8.2.
Thank you, Councilman. We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
We have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion will carry. Item number 8.3 is conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a change in zoning from retail to single-family residential 7.5. The property is described as Lot 1, Block 351, out of the Terrell Revised, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, and is also known as 801 North Rockwall. Again, this is our Director of Municipal Development, Charles Fenner.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you said, the property is currently zoned retail. They'd like to rezone it to the 7.5. It's located at 801 North Rockwall. I'm sure many of you have seen it. The surrounding area, the properties to the north are single-family, to the south are retail, to the east, single-family, and to the west are single-family. The rezoning of this property fits with the adjacent zoning for the most part, and the comprehensive plan calls this out to be traditional neighborhood. And so it kind of falls right in there. As you know, that when we did the comprehensive plan, we had areas that were traditional neighborhood, existing new traditional neighborhood, existing traditional neighborhood, and may have said the same thing, but anyhow, some of those areas were in transition, and so in our comp plan, we also had that transition piece. Some of those lines were drawn at a certain, for a certain area too. This particular property falls within the traditional neighborhood land use type, and so the zoning matches up, or for the zoning request matches up with the comprehensive plan. 19 letters were sent out to 200 people within 200 feet. 0 letters were responded back. The P&Z approved the zone change 7-0.
All right, so this is a public hearing. Is there anyone to speak on this item regarding the zone change from retail to SF residential? Yes. All right. If you would, please state your name, your address, and then address the council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Edward Matthews, 801 North Rockwall Avenue. I own the property in question. This is my wife and I's residence. We purchased a few years ago, and we have no plans on moving or changing anything there. It's been a residence for the last 125 years, and we intend on keeping it that way. However, for purposes of refinancing and for our insurance, we're having issues with it being zoned retail. So we'd like it rezoned residential so we can keep it as our house and be able to complete our financing and our insurance requirements.
Well, thank you for the application. Is there anyone else? Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else to speak for or against? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll move forward to item 8.4, which is discuss and consider a change in zoning from retail to single-family residential, 7.5. The property is described as Lot 1, Block 351, out of the Terrell Revised, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, and is also known as 801 North Rockwell. We heard from the applicant. Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Fenner? Seems pretty simple to me, right? Okay.
You'll be at,
It's Howard.
Howard and Rockwall. It's on the corner. And Alamo comes across to the other side.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Thank you, Charles. This time, Mayor will entertain a motion on item 8.4.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve a zoning change at the property of 801 North Rockwall. We're going to ask for the zoning to be changed as described in 8.4.
From retail to SF, single family, 7.5.
Right.
All right. Have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Items 9 is boards and commissions. The first one is discuss council board assignments. So we're gonna have Charles moving off of District 4, and we have a new council member, Stephanie. I have not had an opportunity to discuss the board assignments yet, so I will do that with you, Stephanie, as we move forward. I think Whitaker was library, and what was the other?
Actually, just library.
Just library, okay.
Library.
So let me do some work on that, and maybe we can do some reassignments so that you can have a couple of those boards to oversee, all right? Our next item on the agenda is 9.2, is discuss boards vacancies review. This is City Secretary Don Stile.
Mayor and council, in your packet is a list of upcoming board appointments and some that are gonna expire on these boards. I won't go through each one, but it's just something to be mindful of as these months are coming up. These people will need to be reappointed, or new people will need to be appointed.
Okay.
And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have?
Don, question on the zoning board of adjustments. So there are 3 appointments that were due on February of '21. Are those people eligible for reappointment, or?
Yes, sir, very
Yes, they
much.
are.
Okay, have we
You're gonna see
There-
that agenda item in just a second.
So they're all in good standing as well?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we need from the council, from staff. A status of the members that are gonna seek reappointment, and if they're in good standing. Do we normally get that? You normally give that to us
Absolutely.
anyway, right?
You'll see that in your upcoming agenda items.
All right.
This is just sort of a run sheet so you can see the big picture
Good.
instead of just seeing them one at a time.
Okay.
That's your big picture of appointments over the next couple of months.
Wonderful, thank you. Any question? No? Our next item on the agenda is discuss June meeting schedule. Mr. Sims?
So, Mayor and Council, this is on agenda item page 36. If you have that handy, there's a lot of detail on this page. Dawn and I have been trying to work out a June meeting schedule that will accomplish several different goals. One is that just in deference to the fact that people like to travel on Memorial Day, we don't have a meeting scheduled for June the 1st. So you'll see that vacancy there and no meeting on June 1st. June the 8th, we are inviting all of council to the library summer activities fair. That's at 5 o'clock at the library. And then we'll have a city council meeting at 7 o'clock. We'll have a workshop and a city council meeting on the 15th. And then Tuesday night on the there, but using the 22nd and the 29th for also some budget work. And then we'll just have to grab another period of time in July to be a little bit deeper into the budget.
Okay, so do we have a location yet on the budget
No,
workshop?
sir, we have not set a location for the budget workshop.
Okay, so could be here, could be at
We could use
Rosenbaum
the
Room.
Rosenbaum Room, we could use
Airport.
the airport, so
Okay.
we have several options there.
All right, so are we gonna begin at 8:30, or is that when breakfast is being served? We're gonna serve breakfast at 8?
I am going to defer to council on that.
I want-
If you'd like to
yeah,
start
no, it's-
at
I know it's
7
a-
in the morning,
yeah.
staff is anxious to start budget retreats and maybe 6 a.m.
So here's what I know it's a long day, and there's a lot to cover, and we always run short on time. Always.
Always. I'm kind of concerned that it's one day.
I know, so that's
We got
my.
July, don't worry.
So,
We got July.
but for this one, we need counsel, if you could, Mike, get what it is that we're gonna discuss. And if we feel like one of those items is gonna run longer than we think it might, let's move it to July and bring one of the shorter Julys to June. And I'll leave that up to your discretion, but I don't want the council being rushed this year for the budget workshop. I wanna make sure we all get our answers.
Yeah, and I would say this is really more putting the rush to staff, because typically we like to have a lot of time in July to react to the budget workshop. And I'm just telling you, we're not going to get some county information as early as we used to get it, because I know what their process is now that that state law changed last time around. And we will have a better budget workshop if I'm a little bit later with some of that information. So I think we'll have a great discussion on the 25th. We'll have lots of good preliminary information, but really to put a budget to bed, some of your considerations just need to be in July instead of June.
Is anybody opposed to starting at 8 o'clock instead of 8:30? I know staff, you'll probably get there the night before to get everything ready, but
We're
that's
ready
all
to
right. So
rumble.
let's start at 8 instead of 8:30. And if we are done early, we'll leave early, but I don't anticipate that. And it's a long day, so prepare to be there. What else have we got? Anything? Okay, our next item on the agenda is discuss and consider tax increment refinance zone number 1 and Power Center Board member appointments. This is City Manager Mike Sims.
So Mayor Council, we talked about the tax increment refinance board several times, just sort of for reminder and orientation. You've really got two boards that we manage together, so that's why it says tax increment reinvestment zone number 1 and Power Center Board member appointments. Those are, remember, our tax increment finance district is about 4,000 acres. The Power Center is a subset of that, specifically located at the corner of 148 and Interstate 20. So it's a subset of the tax increment district. Both boards have the exact same membership under the way we set those bylaws up. Two of the spots are appointed by the county, and so they have historically put 2 commissioners on there. We anticipate asking them to do those reappointments here in the next couple of weeks, and obviously their membership is overdue to get that information from the county. But the problem we've got now is that we've basically gotten requests from both John Thurman and John Davidson that they be allowed to rotate off. They've said thank you, and I think we provided some of that correspondence to you at a previous meeting. This time around, though, I think we're ready to have a couple of names that you might find worthy to serve on the Tax Increment Refinance Board and the Power Center Board. So if you flip over to agenda item page 40, you can see a man by the name of Charles Whitaker has filled out his application, offering to serve on the Tax Financing Reinvestment Board. Agenda item page 40. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I'll be trained on the system. As an announcer announcement, we'll remind people like me, you have to punch the button to be heard. So Charles Whitaker is an applicant, and you can see that on agenda item page 40. And then if you flip over, I won't give you Charles Whitaker's resume since it's fairly well known to everybody. Agenda item page 42 shows another applicant, Adriana Reese, and she is an applicant who has lived close to Terrell for about 15 years, but only recently moved into the city limits. She's worked in Terrell for about 10 years. She's a board member of the Terrell Share Center. She's a secretary of the Kiwanis Club.
She's an active member of Rockwell and Bryn Church of Christ, and professionally, she is a financial advisor for Edward Jones. Those of you who have been on council for a while know, and Stephanie Thomas knows as well, our Tax and Refinance Board and our Power Center Board are very, very heavy on show me the numbers, show me what's happening with property taxes, show me what's happening with our major development deals. So it's very good to have somebody with some business and financial background on those boards. So those are the two applicants that are brought forward today. And again, they are consideration for both Power Center Board and Tax Increment Board.
Okay, so this falls under Councilwoman Mayrani Velazquez purview, so she's also a member of Kiwanis Club. Did you say that? The applicant, yeah? Mayrani, Councilwoman?
Yes, Mayor, after weeks of searching for potential board members and vetting potential board members, and I personally had conversations with both Charles Whitaker and Andrea Reese. They both really understand, the budgets, the time it takes to review information, and have a wealth of experience in leadership positions throughout the community, especially dealing with, the budget and finance. So, Mayor, I make a motion to approve and appoint Charles Whitaker and Andrea Reese to serve on the TIF Board and Power Center Board.
All right, so we have a motion from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3, to appoint both Charles Whitaker and Andrea Reese. Is that correct? Yes. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion?
Discussion, I'm glad you've given Charles a job. He's already called and texted me.
It doesn't surprise me. Is there, oh yeah, turn your phones off, because he will call you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Next item on the agenda is discuss annual city council training requirements. This is City Secretary Don, oh, whoa, sorry, oh, okay. Our next item is to discuss and consider zoning board of adjustments reappointment. This is, Director of Municipal Development, Charles Finner, Planning and Zoning Commission reappointment, sorry. Director of Municipal Development, Charles Finner.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We have 3 members that need to be reappointed. Danny Stevens as our chairman, Jenny Heisel has been our vice chairman, and Trini Jones, all for their 3rd term. So we're running out of people, and Mrs. Thomas has been serving on the planning and zoning and doing a great job, and we need to figure out an appointment for her too, but that is not on your agenda right now. But I do need these 3 reappointed, and they have been very active and helped us through a lot of stuff. They do a lot of great things, they ask a lot of questions before this stuff gets to you, and that's what they're supposed to be doing, is making a recommendation to you. And so we have very good boards.
All right, thank you, Charles. Again, this falls under Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Mayrani?
Mayor, I will say that, the feedback that I've gotten from staff and from what I've watched from planning and zoning, all members, Danny Stevens, Jenny Heisel, and Trini B. Jones, have served the board well. They're looking forward to serving their 3rd and final term. And I'm happy to recommend that they are appointed. So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Danny Stevens for reappointment to the 3rd term for planning and zoning, appoint Jenny Heisel for her 3rd term to planning and zoning, and appoint Trini B. Jones to his 3rd term to planning and zoning.
I have a motion for Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
I second.
Have a second from Stephanie Holmes-Thomas, District 4. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor, the only addition that I'll make is that if my fellow council members have a suggestion or would like to encourage somebody to serve on planning and zoning, we're always looking for individuals with construction experience, planning experience, zoning, firefighters, you name it, anything that has to do with construction and planning and zoning, to apply online, or certainly inquire with our staff as well.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Item number 9.6 is to discuss and consider zoning board of adjustment reappointments. Again, this is Director of Municipal Development, Charles Finner.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We do have 3 to be reappointed. Dr. Miller, in for her second term. This was her first time around. She is actually been in the planning world, works for the city of Rowlett. She doesn't speak up, but when she does, she has really good points, and that's speak up much, but she does contribute a lot because of her knowledge. Mr. Cooper has just been named chairman of the board after this will be his 3rd term. Has done a fantastic job leading these meetings, and Ms. Jones has just been named vice chairman and very active too with our zoning board of adjustment. They're always there, and they are seeing quite a few cases. So we definitely recommend if the council so chooses.
Councilwoman, you're busy tonight. This falls under yours as well, so have you had an opportunity to vet candidates, and are you ready to make a motion?
Yes, Mayor, all 3 individuals considered for reappointment to either their 2nd or 3rd term have served our boards well, whether it's from attendance, questions, or the wealth of experience that they bring to Zoning Board of Adjustments. So I move to appoint Dr. Kamika Miller for her 2nd term on Zoning Board of Adjustments, appoint Chair Jimmy Cooper to his 3rd term on Zoning Board of Adjustments, and approve and appoint Vice Chair Karen Jones to her 3rd term on Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. We have executive session. So this time we will adjourn into executive session. Wait. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Discuss annual city council training requirements, 10.1.
Mayor and council,
Tell I'm in a hurry.
there are a couple of trainings that are required for elected officials annually, one of those being Open Meetings Act training, and the other one is kind of a new one that was passed. House Bill 3834 was passed in 2019, requiring cybersecurity training for all state and local government employees and contractors and elected officials that access any kind of government computer systems or email. So just kind of as a heads up, just look for those emails coming to you, and they're online trainings. So it's something that you can do from home whenever you want to do it, and it's fairly easy.
So Don, you're going to send out emails to everybody and let them know.
Yes,
and then
sir.
give them the link so that they can go in. These are at cost to the city, right?
Yeah, yes, anything that, yes, any fees will be paid by the city. Yes.
What I was trying to ask, I guess, is they're not going to be asked for payment if they
No,
go in and.
no, they will
It's
not.
already taken care of.
Yes, anything, yes, I'll send any kind of a link that I send, yeah, everything will be taken care of. They'll just have to click the link and go in and do that.
Well, so council, as we are into this era of online and registering and not registering, please check with staff before you agree on payment or anything like that. Make sure that we're doing it the right way, okay? All right, thank you, Don. Next item is to adjourn into executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property, drainage, flood easements, Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property, city water. I know, Mama down there getting upset. All right. We are now going to reconvene into regular session and consider action, if any, on items discussed in executive session. Legal, would you please read those resolutions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight first resolution number 1032, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, being described and identified as parcel 01PE, being approximately 95,527 square feet or 2.193 acres of land out of the Aaron Bennett Survey, Abstract 20, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
All right. Council, that's resolution number 1032. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 1032 as presented.
We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
We have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is resolution 1033.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1033, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 02PE, being approximately 424,194 square feet or 9.378 acres of land out of the Aaron Bennett Survey, Abstract 20, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Have resolution number 1033. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 1033 as presented.
Have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Next resolution, number 10034.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1034, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 03PE, being approximately 263,441 square feet or 6.048 acres of land out of the Jacob Walker Survey, Abstract 600, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Thank you, legal. Is there a motion on resolution 1034?
Mayor, make a motion that we approve Resolution 1034.
Have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1035.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight Resolution number 1035, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terre, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 04PE, being approximately 20,365 square feet or 0.4675 acres of land out of the Jacob Walker Survey, abstract 600, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Is there a motion on resolution number 1035?
Mayor, make a motion that we approve Resolution 1035 as presented.
I have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution 1036.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight Resolution 1036, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 05PE, being approximately 246,513 square feet or 5.659 acres of land out of the Jacob Walker Survey, abstract 600, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Is there a motion for resolution number 1036?
Mayor, make a motion that we approve Resolution 1036 as presented.
I have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
I have a second from Mayrani Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution is number 1037.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1037, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 06PE, being approximately 118,520 square feet or 4.328 acres of land out of the Jacob Walker Survey, abstract 600, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Is there a motion on resolution number 1037?
Mayor, make a motion that we approve Resolution 1037 as presented.
Have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1038.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1038. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 07PE, being approximately 764,647 square feet, or 17.554 acres of land out of the William Fulcher Survey, Abstract 153, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain procedures to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Is there a motion on resolution number 1038?
Mayor, make a motion that we approve Resolution 1038.
We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
I second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1039.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1039, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 08PE, being approximately 472,918 square feet, or 10.857 acres of land out of the William Fulcher Survey, Abstract 153, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Okay. So before we take a motion on resolution number 1039, I want to give our legal a chance to breathe. He's been reading an awful lot. Clear his throat, take a drink of water, but is there a motion for resolution number 1039?
Mayor, make a motion we approve Resolution 1039, and I would like to recognize former Councilman Whitaker.
Gotcha. That didn't last long. All right, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem District 5, Tim Royce. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1040.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1040, excuse me, resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 09PE, being approximately 34,960 square feet or 0.8026 acres of land out of the William Fulcher Survey, abstract 153, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
So is there a motion on resolution number 1040?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 1040 as presented.
We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1041.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1041, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described and identified as parcel 010PE, being approximately 160,734 square feet or 3.690 acres of land out of the William Fulcher Survey, abstract 153, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
We have a motion on resolution number 1041.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 1041 as presented.
We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Resolution number 1042.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1042, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, declaring the necessity to acquire a permanent floodplain or inundation easement for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, and being described as parcel 011PE, being approximately 316,929 square feet or 7.276 acres of land out of the Robert G. Cartwright Survey, abstract 76, Kaufman County, Texas, for the purpose of overflowing and submerging said property for the operation and maintenance of the new Terrell City Lake, determining the public necessity for such easement, authorizing the acquisition of property rights necessary for the new Terrell City Lake project and associated construction uses, appointing an appraiser and negotiator as necessary, authorizing the city manager or his designee to establish just compensation for the property rights to be acquired, and to take all steps necessary to acquire the needed property rights in compliance with all applicable laws and resolutions, and authorizing the city attorney or designee to institute eminent domain proceedings to acquire the easement if purchase negotiations are not successful.
Is there a motion on resolution number 1042?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 1042.
We have a motion from Tim Royce, Mayor Pro Tem District 5. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And finally, resolution number 1043.
Mr. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we bring to you tonight resolution number 1043, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, authorizing the city manager or his designee to negotiate and to execute waivers, evaluation, offer letters, and settlement agreements with MT/GA Development Corporation, Inc., TX, Terrell American LLC, Terrell American Fund, Inc., and Terrell Economic Development Corporation in the planned lift station/force main project in the city of Terrell for the acquisition of easements for a sanitary sewer line in the project known as the Market Center Lift Station Improvements Project and declaring an effective date.
Is there a motion for resolution number 1043?
I move to have the mayor execute resolution number 1043 as presented.
I have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 3. Is there a second? I have a second from Grady Simpson, District 2. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.